guys, welcome to episode 29. Today I want to cover one of my favorite producers of all time. He goes by Conforce, but he also has many aliases. I'll cover a couple of those aliases in this episode. His real name is Boris Bunick, and he's from the Netherlands. And from what I can tell, he started producing sometime around the 2010 period and has just gone totally nuclear with all his productions and different styles. He covers regular standard techno, I would say deep techno, something along the lines of what you would hear on Dell's scene. I've heard him drop dub techno. He has electro aliases. So this guy has a lot of talent and a lot of ideas. And one of my favorite things about him is you just never know what you're gonna get with a Conforce EP or really for any of his aliases in that regard. So today I'm gonna give you my top 5 Conforce records that I've found since I started checking his catalog. I feel like I've pretty much sampled everything that he's ever done. There might be a couple that I missed in here, and if you guys have any other ideas or something you think I would like please let me know, because I totally love this guy's work. First track I want to talk about is on this EP. This is on Dell Scene, and there's a dub techno track on here. It's the B2. It's called Vacuum. When I first heard this, I couldn't get over the bass line. It's such like a slick, I don't know how it's written, but it's so creative, and it's kind of understated. Like if you're listening on earbuds or if you don't have your volume turned up all the way, like you might miss it. But when you turn this up loud, I think the bass line in Vacuum just totally just blows the roof off. And it's kind of accompanied by a clock ticking type feeling, like I guess a synchronization or I don't know how to describe it, but it's something that really just kind of like sucks you in and draws you in. And I think it's appropriate for an opening set where you want to keep it low key, but also really like stun people. It's classic Conforce where he bounces around with different styles and different ideas. So there's a lot of variety on here, but I do feel like this is a very strong one all around. Next one I want to talk about, that was 2011. This is 2013. This is Conforce's Time Dilation EP, another one on Dell Scene. And I was crazy about it when it came out. So there's a blue and there's a jet black. I bought both of them just because I was kind of nuts over it. But the track on here that really stands out, over his whole catalog, is the one called Embrace. It has this trickling percussion line that kind of, it's like a hook. The percussion line is a hook in and of itself. And the way that he programmed that and wrote it, I just think is beyond genius. Again, I think this would accompany the Vacuum, release in the same set. Like you could play them either off of each other or within, a couple tracks of one another, and you could really just get people's attention. Again, that's total opening set material. There's some harder tracks on the Time Dilation EP if you wanted to go a little bit harder. So maybe you could come back to that record later on in your set and drop something else that had a little bit more energy. But Embrace will definitely take people down into the vortex with you. Next up is what I consider to be his strongest 4-tracker ever. This is depth over distance. And when I was lining up this episode earlier this week, I'm gonna be honest, I had a very difficult time figuring out which track I was gonna present to you guys. So it's tough because all four of them are great, and I think this is the best four tracker in his entire catalog. I went with Plateau just because it had a little bit of a soft touch, and I wanted to show you guys that he can do ambient, like true Delcine style deep techno, and pull it off with elegance. I think really if I'm gonna recommend you one out of this entire episode, the depth over distance is where it's at. My next recommendation comes off of one of his albums that came out in 2017. The album's called Autonomous, and the track is called Harnessed Life in Programmed Form. And the reason that track stands out off this whole album, it's very simple. There's hand claps that come in the middle of this track, and when you play it on a stereo system, the hand claps alternate left and right. So you get this really cool stereo effect that has like the sounds like bopping back and forth really, really fast, and it just creates an effect. I played this for people that don't even really listen to electronic music, like friends that I had over, and they were like, whoa, that sounds really cool, because you could hear it even in my living room. You could hear the sounds bopping back and forth. And I played it out at a party one time too, and somebody came up to me and asked me about it. So I feel like that one's tried and tested, and again, all about those hand claps. My last recommendation for today is Conforce's dub techno project. So it's kind of like when Echo Space presents Deep Chord, or the other way around. This is Conforce presents Silent Harbor, and the album's called Noctiluca. Butchering this. And the track that I love on here is called Paradinum. It's a really deep, elegant dub techno track. I think the whole there's 6 tracks on here. I think from start to finish, you have a very nice album here, but the one that really stood out is that B1, and I'm gonna give you a clip here. Just smooth, perfect dub techno to me. I could listen to that, and I kind of wish that I had put it into my dub techno set that I did, Mark Anthony video vinyl mix number 3. I overlooked it when I was like flipping through trying to pick out what to play that day, but this would have been awesome to play in the very beginning of that. But yeah, check that out too. If you can get this for 12, 13, 14 bucks, I recommend this. I feel like you'll be happy that you still have it years later. So that's all I have for today, guys. Boris, thank you for all the awesome productions over the years. I hope you just keep producing for another decade. I'm totally loving it. I appreciate everything you've done, and take care. Peace.